Xbox to release a streaming stick. Mouth haptics for spider eaters. Starfield and Redfall delayed to next year. And the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. Extra, extra, hear all about it.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast that has to throw away its plans because Xbox decides to drop big news as I'm going to bed. I'm the Dean of Games, the Dean Slater if you're on Twitter or Twitch, and joining me is, speaking of Twitch, twitch.tv/LMJ the Hitman Landen.
Hello, hey Dean, how you doing? I'm doing good. You're doing good? How you doing?
I'm doing good. And for those of you who are like, it dropped at like 7 in the morning. Yeah, that's when I go to bed. I work third shift, so for those of you asking, wait, the news dropped early in the morning.
Woo for third shift. Hell yeah.
Oh man. You know all about that third shift grind yourself.
I do.
This is Extra Extra, your weekly gaming news podcast covering the news leading up to Sunday, May 15th, 2022. And if you like us, you can go to patreon.com/thebriefingroom. Let's get to some news. The first bit of news is that Xbox is planning to release a streaming stick. It's been compared to Amazon's Fire Stick in the Roku Puck. I don't necessarily agree with that, but we'll get into that. And they also have a Samsung TV app also planned. In a video presentation, I believe last year, Liz Hamrin said this about Xbox's plans. Cloud is the key to our hardware and Game Pass roadmaps, but no one should think that we're slowing down on our core console engineering. In fact, we're accelerating it. We're already hard at work on new hardware and platforms, some of which won't come to light for years. But even as we build for the future, we're focusing on extending the Xbox experience to more devices today so we can reach more people. And many of those devices won't be built by us. For example, we're working with our global TV manufacturers to embed the Game Pass experience directly into internet-connected TVs, so all you need is a controller. Beyond that, we're also developing standalone streaming devices that you can plug into a TV or a monitor and have so if you have a strong internet connection, you can stream your Xbox experience. This is part of Xbox's Everywhere initiative. And Fortnite's Apple iOS workaround that was earlier this week is also part of that initiative.
Pretty cool stuff. It's a big step for Xbox. Real big step for Xbox. Like, this is going to help push those numbers real high. It's going to be as common as having a Roku stick plugged into your TV or wherever you want to take your Xbox Games Pass. Like, even if you have a laptop and your laptop's not strong enough, so you just, plug in that streaming piece on the side of your laptop. Boom.
Yeah. I mentioned that I don't necessarily agree with, like, the Fire Stick / Roku Puck. I'm not saying that it's going to be, like, the size of a console by any means. But I think, if anything, it's going to look more like the Apple TV device.
Yes, yeah. Roku has one of those as well, but I also believe it'll have a bit of thickness in there.
Yeah, I don't think it's just gonna you plug it into your TV and it sits behind the TV. I think you're gonna still have to have something under your TV, and it's like I said, it's not gonna be big by any means, but it's not going to be, hardly noticeable.
For sure, I believe that as well, and I think it's going to have some, like, a little bit of kick inside that machine, like just a tiny bit of kick to be able to handle some minor bits of the processing power to make sure your gaming, wherever you take it, is smooth as possible.
Yeah, because let's face it, the internet infrastructure, as much as they're pushing it, there's only so much they can do with the current internet infrastructure that both the ISPs and the government refuse to improve, but that's a whole other story entirely.
Yeah, I also think it'll be anywhere between $80 to $120 with the controller.
Yeah,
And they're at them taking probably a heavy loss on that price, because I think they're going to have somewhat like a miniature 360, like, is what I'm thinking. Like, not that big of a device, but that kind of power underneath the hood of whatever device they have.
Yeah.
Not simple enough for you just to literally pick it up, unplug it, and plug it in wherever else.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'll probably have one. Like road trips and stuff, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Like
where we stay at a hotel, or...
I did not have it listed with my notes, but this is planned to be within the next 12 months. If it happens to release within the next 4 months, I can take it with me to Colorado, because my brother's getting married later this year.
Nice.
And so I can just take it with me to Colorado, and that can be my device, you know?
A good idea. If it's out by then. I think it'll be out by holiday for sure. They said a year, I think, but I don't know. It'd be smart for them to have that out just before holiday.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. Nothing. Sorry, I was looking at my computer. Gave me some weird notification. Alright, so let's move on to mouth haptics for spider eaters.
Yum.
Carnegie Mellon University, I hope I'm saying that right, has developed a mouth haptic device for VR. It makes different experiences with your mouth. It uses ultrasonic transducers to... they used a Quest 2 that it focuses on the mouth. It can do single taps, multiple taps, swipes along, down, and up your mouth, and persistent vibrations. The demo that they showed was walking through cobwebs and being covered in spider venom, and drinking water and coffee, smoking a cigarette, brushing your teeth, and riding a motorcycle. I should...
Go ahead.
I should add that this device is not like some giant, piece that goes under your headset. It's literally just like a board that is right under your visual.
Yeah, slides right underneath where the vision part is, and it adds just a tiny bit more thickness to that headset, and it's not that bad, honestly. And it is a great step in the right direction of immersive gaming in VR, for sure. I think it's a great idea. I just the demo that they show off with the spider webs touching the lady's mouth and the spiders crawling on her mouth. No, man. Certain games I'm just not going to be able to do. I'm just not going to be able to do it. Not when I can feel things crawling on me.
Everyone's kind of teasing them for like, why would you show spiders? And I think the reason that they chose to show spiders, if I'm being honest, is some of the most visceral experiences are horror experiences. And what's more terrifying than spiders on your face?
Yeah.
Because that's a primitive fear, because, back in the day, I say back in the day, it's not that long ago that modern medicine actually came up with cures for most spider venoms. But, spider venom was something completely justifiably scary for people that didn't have modern amenities. And, spiders can hide anywhere. They're so small, and they can just kill you so fast. So, that's a primitive fear, and so by capitalizing on that primitive fear, you can really add to the visceralness of the experience, which is why I think they showed that. So, for people teasing them, yeah, it's fun to tease, but I think that's why they went with that.
For sure.
I think this is interesting. We all knew this was coming, where they're going to start adding stuff to the VR experience to help immerse you. It's not long before we'll have full body suits with little things on it, so that way you can feel anything. You can feel yourself getting shot in the arm or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be rough. I'm gonna be 50. Yeah, I'll still be playing this stuff, but I'm gonna be probably having a heart attack. Just how immersive these things will probably be.
You're wearing that full body suit, and then they release a remake of RE8 for VR, and you get swiped by Lady D. You're like, "Oh, take me," and she actually swipes you, and you're like, "Oh."
Come out of VR beaten and bruised.
Oh. Yeah, this is the start, and it's exciting. I wonder if stuff like this, you gotta imagine stuff like this only adds to you pretty much have to have almost top of the line computers for VR anyway. You can only imagine that adding all this extra stuff adds to the strain of the computer. So I wonder how much more we have to improve computer technology before we can start doing more of this on a regular basis.
Yeah, I love VR, but I keep thinking about just the scary games. I'm probably gonna have to just put an end to the scary games at a certain point, and just not play them anymore. I do like them, but sometimes they get pretty rough.
Yeah. I was expecting our stories to take a lot longer than they are. I'm on the last story now, which I guess we'll have quite a bit to say about, but I really should have gone through the Nindies like I was planning to. Starfield and Redfall are delayed to next year. This was announced in a statement by Bethesda, and part of the statement reads, "The teams at Arcane Austin, which make Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studio, which makes Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their experiences, for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires us every day to drive our own excitement for what we are creating." And then, for those of you who don't know, Starfield is a sci-fi RPG that people have assumed is going to be essentially Elder Scrolls in space. And Redfall is a solo / up to 4-person co-op experience taking on legions of vampires in the small town of, you guessed it, Redfall. Starfield was scheduled to release on the 11th anniversary of Skyrim's release, and Redfall didn't have a date, but was promised for this year.
I didn't think that game was coming this year.
If I'm being honest, I didn't think it was coming this year either.
Starfield, I don't know. I kind of they mentioned Fallout 4 and its release within 4 months or 4.5 months of it coming out. So that I still had somewhat anticipation for Starfield.
Yeah.
But honestly, if they're trying to promise the next Skyrim and they delay it, that means they need to delay it. Take your time on it. Everyone's got their eyes on it. We're not looking for the next Cyberpunk. I'm not looking for the next Cyberpunk, at least. I want that game to be as good as what I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
That being said, I do believe we will still see it at Xbox's conference. Like, hey, here's the delay. Sorry about that. But here's what we're trying to show you. And like, show the concept of the game, some gameplay of it, and traveling from planet to planet, and having different spaceships. Like, I can only imagine the shit they're going to show in this little 1-minute teaser.
Yeah. The weird thing for me, for Starfield, like I mentioned, I didn't think Redfall was coming out. Just the fact that they announced it so recently, and the fact that it is it didn't have an exact date, and let's face it, Arcane just came out with a game. Like, I was like, it's probably not coming out in 2022, or like last week of the year 2022, maybe. But but with Starfield, it's like that game was announced in 2018. They gave it an exact date. It's like, if you don't know, game publishers and game developers, if you don't know for sure if your game's coming out, don't put an exact date on it.
Yeah, they put a special date on it now that they have to move away from. This like, they're doing the anniversary of Skyrim, the 11th anniversary of Skyrim, on November 11th.
Yeah.
And now they got to move away from that date. So they're like trying to make it something special, and there's like, we're so confident we're not going to show you anything about it, but we're confident it's going to come out in November 11th. Okay.
Yeah, they have a history of not showing stuff till like real late, but still, yeah, they've started showing like snippets, like basically 30-second snippets of the game, and it's like, let's just give us a presentation or something. But yeah, no, even giving a year, I'm fine with giving a year, because that doesn't say anything, right? If they just said 2022, which I think they also said last year was 2022. If they just kept it as 2022, it being pushed back to 2023 is like, okay, yeah, like, that's fine. They were kind of trying to give us a time frame, but yeah, giving an exact date always is frustrating to the fans. I'm sure it's frustrating to the people actually working on the game, because they're like, even because they see like the finish line, and now it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go back. I still would prefer them delay the game over crunch or anything like that. Believe me, I'd rather have a complete game that no one crunched on over, what it is in a lot of cases. But just don't put a date if you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, now they got to regenerate hype and regenerate, which I think they intentionally waited to tell us till this moment, because we're just a couple weeks away from Xbox's conference that they're holding this summer. And whenever they all these bombshells, like, here's all, like, I'm sure Xbox is going to bring the heat when it comes to their conference this year, for sure. Like, I have high expectations, and I'm sure they realize that I have high expectations, so they will most likely deliver. So, along all these announcements that Xbox is going to have, Bethesda's going to have announcements of their own games, and I'm sure they'll even have a game to release this year from Bethesda. We'll see. But that being said, they're going to show off that clip, that Starfield clip that's going to make everybody be like, oh shit, this game really is no joke. And then all will be forgiven. Everybody will just be rebuilding that hype.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know. They know. I have high expectations, and if they drop that trailer and it's crap, oh boy, you better start working.
Oh boy.
I doubt it, though. I highly doubt it. Like, everyone should have as high expectations as they do. Elder Scrolls Skyrim was phenomenal. It changed the game. We can thank a lot of the games we play today because of what Elder Scrolls has done in its past and what this game will be. Like, I have very high expectations that this game is exactly what I think it's going to be. A giant space fucking adventure that's open world. Open world's the wrong word now because it should be just open galaxy.
Yeah.
Give me some Mass Effect 2 and 3 style traversal.
Yeah. I now want to see more of the game because now I'm curious of why they felt the need to delay it, if anything. Let's go ahead and move on. I had to pull it up because, like I said, I didn't actually type it out. Did you watch the indie showcase at all for Nintendo?
I got to watch a couple highlights of certain games that stood out to me.
Okay. So everyone knows, let's get this out of the way, because anytime there's an indie showcase of any kind, no matter who's doing it, Hollow Knight Silksong's not there. And to be fair, the Hollow Knight, is it? No, it wasn't Hollow Knight, it was Ori. Never mind. I was about to say, they have some stuff to work on, but it's the Ori developer that needs to work on some stuff before they focus on games again. Alright, Ooblets is coming out. I'm pulling all of this from Kotaku. Let's see, who wrote it? Ari Notice? Sorry if I said your name wrong. Ooblets is coming. It was previously on Xbox and PC. It's similar to Pokemon, where you collect a bunch of creatures. I remember there being a controversy about this game, and I don't remember what it was. But they announced something, and people were upset, and the developer called out the fans of the game. Yeah, I don't remember the exact situation of that, but yeah, the developer, called them out, which is never a good thing.
No.
Doubling down on something your fans are upset with is not... It's not the best idea. There's that situation with Monkey Island that just recently happened where everyone's upset it's not 2D. And he's like, listen, I'm the creator of the series. I'm the one making the game. I want it to be 3D. I don't want it to be classified as retro, like my previous game was. Mm-hmm. Which I think is fair, but again, it's one of those things, calling out the fans, I don't know, is the best idea. But Toro at Lost Haven is coming out. It was announced last year. It's isometric RPG with, twin stick combat and a non-linear story. I don't remember too much about what I saw from this game, if I'm being honest. Now, that could be my short-term memory. It's shit. But it did not... it did not impress me at all. Apparently, because I don't remember it. Lekhead did impress me. I think it's already out on PC, maybe? But it's a 2D puzzle platformer where you're just an electric person and you're like a robot thing. And you can throw your head, and anything that I guess your head touches activates different things, and so you have to throw your head to activate like a wall, and then you go through and then you collect your head again later. But I'm sure there's going to be, it's going to start off and you're going to start off be like, oh, this is really easy. And then in the later levels, you're going to be like, how the fuck do I get my head over there so I can open up this so I can get over here?
That sounds awesome.
I'm excited for that, yeah. Just, I know, thank you, computer. My computer's going nuts right now. It's giving me notifications that I need to update because it did, or I need to restart because I did an update. And it's like, yes, I know. And then it told me that I'm no longer connected to my phone, and I haven't connected my phone to my computer at all, so that's exciting. Anyway, Soundfall. It's a 140 song OST co-op rhythm game. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, okay, I do remember this. It's a rhythm game, but it's also like a isometric like shooter, looter shooter. So you, I don't know if you saw this in your highlights or at all, but yeah, it just has 140 songs, and you just, as it plays the songs and you're playing the levels, you hit the shoot button at the exact same time as the rhythm. You shoot with the rhythm to do extra damage, and you just have hordes of enemies coming at you, and it's isometric, so it's top down. It's just boom, 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 and I'm interested in it. I need to actually see a little bit more, because I'm not good with rhythm, but if the game looks intriguing enough, I'll try it. It's like, what was there was an indie game that released, and it did so well, Nintendo actually allowed them to do a Legend of Zelda spin-off, and you basically attack with the rhythm of the music. I don't remember what game that was.
Sounds so familiar and dope at the same time. Yeah.
Just seeing Link move to the rhythm of you also move to the rhythm too. It's not just shoot. Anytime you move, you need to try to move to the rhythm. Wild Frost, which is a deck building tactical roguelike, which is an interesting combination.
Yeah, that is unique.
So I'll like to see that. I love the art style also of Wild Frost. Totally accurate battle simulator. That's one's been out. It's a fun little thing because the people are just so dopey, essentially, is what I would say. I prefer, from this developer, I prefer their totally accurate Battlegrounds, which I don't know if you've seen or played any of that. But
I have seen it.
Yeah, it's the same style and the people move the same, but it's a battle royale. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Gunbrella is something that I'm really excited about.
Yes, that game looks good. Other people were talking about it, and I was like, you know what, I'll just look it up. And then before I knew it, I watched the entire showcase of it.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Oh, it does look good. I'm excited. It is a, I guess, Western noir, kind of, there's some elements of, like, steampunk, not a whole lot, but enough there that you can kind of add that to it. And you use an umbrella that's also a gun. Like, are we talking Ruby out here? It's gonna release next year, though. It's not coming out this year. Now, this is a game I had heard about earlier, but I wasn't I didn't know what it is, and even after watching this, I still don't kind of know what it is. But now I at least have like a vision in my head. We are OFK. So this is episodic music narrative game. Like I said, it was announced last year, and I've heard some stuff about it, but it's like, until you kind of see it, you don't really know, you know? So basically, you're playing as, you're trying to build this band, and it's got OFK, which is an indie pop band. And it's got the music in there from OFK, and I guess there's, you know, drama, you know, relationships, all that kind of thing. I still need to see a little bit more, because even after seeing it, I still don't fully know. Silt. I don't know if you saw Silt at all in your highlights, but
I did not. What's this one?
So it is. You're basically swimming underwater. It's 2D exploration game, like a side-scrolling exploration game where you're underwater and you're basically a scuba diver underwater. And the entire game is black and white. So it's kind of got that. It's got a vibe, I will say. So I'll need to see more from that. Also, I'm intrigued. I can go for some exploration games. And walking simulators I can go for, but like I need to know a little bit more about the game. But I don't necessarily mind the genre. I know some people have issues with like just games where you're just walking or exploring with no other like purpose. Mini motorways. So I guess I don't remember too much about this one either, if I'm being honest. It's a planning game, so I guess you're trying to make, I don't know, the best roads or whatever. I don't remember too much about this game. So, and they literally, Kotaku's blurb about it literally is, NUMTOT rejoice. Dinosaur Polos Club's excellent planning game, Mini Motorways, is coming to Switch. That was what they wrote about it, so I don't know. Wayward Strand was an interesting one. It's a narrative adventure game about a floating hospital.
And another Strand game.
Yeah.
There's no death in this one. It's just stranding. We're not Death Stranding. We're just stranding.
I just don't. You're good. You're good. I was wanting to know where you were going with that, so I'm glad I know now. Floating hospital is such a weird idea to me, because like, why? Why would you put a hospital in the sky? I still don't. I don't understand that. If it is a narrative game, like a narrative-heavy game, there's probably going to be a lot of sadness to it. Just because it is hospitals, there's going to be death, there's going to be choices that you'll have to make with it being narrative that will have profound, you know, if it's as narrative-driven as it claims to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can handle that. My little heart, it's not strong enough. Cult of the Lamb, which This one I'm interested in. I'll need to... I keep saying I need to see more, but I really do need to see more on a lot of these. Like, I love indies, but at the same time, indies get so experimental like this one is that I'm just like, what is this game about? So it's a mix of dungeon crawling, roguelike, and city building. You are a...
What a mix.
Yeah. You are a sheep organizing a cult. Thus, Cults of the Lamb. It's something. So...
Well, I'm just glad these indie games had a place to show off.
Yeah. So another Crab's Treasure. This is made by the people who made the capitalism sim Going Under, in case you don't know them. You play as a crab and you fight bigger crabs. And they're claiming that it's going to be a Souls-like. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Souls-like, huh?
I'm struggling to get crab and Souls-like, because there's, as much as I've talked about how there are elements of Souls I just don't like, having a human, we know what a human can do. There's not a lot of crab can do to, dodge roll. A crab can't dodge roll, and what are you going to be able to do is my thinking. It's like, I don't know. I don't see crabs doing a whole lot. Then they ran through a bunch of, a montage of a bunch of different things. One Shot, Gibbon, Idle Manager, Card Shark, Curse to Golf, Guidebook of Babel, and Echo of Star Song are all things that that were in that sizzle reel. I remember we've mentioned them before, so I'll mention them again. Kind of funny. I remember Greg Miller was playing Idle Manager, and he was enjoying it.
Oh, okay.
That was last-ish year he was talking about it. I'm sure he's excited because it's no longer on PC. So he can play it on a console. I don't know any of these other games. Opus Epic. I keep saying Epic. Opus Echo of Star Song. Opus Echo of Star Song. Opus Echo of Star Song. There we go. Hopefully I got it memorized now. That looked fun. But yeah, I know you said you saw kind of highlights. So is there any of the others of those besides Gunbrella that you saw that you were interested in?
Well, some of these that I saw are probably ones that you already mentioned. Because I just don't remember the names of them. But honestly, the Gunbrella has my attention.
Yeah,
it's probably the one I'll be picking up.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about it before here, but this is the age of acquisitions, right? And there's a lot of people that have been asking, well, with these big companies buying all these smaller companies, where are we going to, for first-party titles or whatever? Specifically the console manufacturers are buying these other studios. What are going to be third-party? And I think indies are going to be the third party. Making video games still takes a lot of work, a lot of time, and definitely some financial commitment, but it is so much cheaper and easier making games now than it used to be. And now people are more open to more experimental art styles and gameplay than they used to be. I mean, how long was it that we had the same style of first-person shooters, and now they're playing around with it? Splitgate, like that was...
Oh man, Splitgate's good.
Yeah, that was... You would... 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, you wouldn't have seen a game like Splitgate. It would have been all the same. It would have just been a Call of Duty knockoff. This all first-person shooters were.
Yeah.
For a very long time. I think that's the way people are going to move. They're going to move towards indies being the third parties. And, I mean, you look at this game... let me send you this image real quick. But yeah, that's the art style of We Are OFK. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't see that from a major developer, but that's a beautiful style.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's really chill, too.
Yeah. So, like, I think that's the future, is where all of the, like, the AAA games are all going to be, as much as people hate it, are all going to be owned by the console manufacturers. And then the indies are going to pad out the third party. And you're going to get stuff like this. And you have the bigger companies making more initiatives towards helping indie developers. You have ID at Xbox. You have EA's EA has a something like ID at Xbox, and I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. But yeah, you have these companies actually making an effort to help the indie developers now, because indies are the future. I've seen some people say toxic stuff about indies and about how they're not real games. You're going to have to get over your bias. Indies are what the future is. As far as, like, that's where the third parties are going to be, is through indies.
I mean, yeah, the big, big AAA games you guys play today, those companies were most likely indie studios at once upon a time back in the day. And now they've grown to be something else. Like, I mean, even Activision, all these people were small bees, and now they've grown to be something quite large. And the same will probably be for these guys. They're, the games you're playing, any games you're playing today could be, the next Call of Duty developers, 20 years from now. Yeah.
Like, I've mentioned several times in the past that, how much I love Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley has sold, I don't remember, this is like a year old at this point, but it sold like 10 million copies at this point, and that was made by one dude, and it sold 10 million copies. It's past the 20 million sales mark for all platforms. But PC alone has generated 13 million sales. That was as of May 9th, so just 3 days ago. And I'll admit I've contributed to that. I have it on Xbox, PC, and Switch. So I have definitely contributed to those numbers. But like when you're talking like just me, I have it on all those platforms. I'm sure a bunch of people have it on multiple platforms, because it's like $20 each. So I've spent a full game, a full AAA title worth of money on that game. Just because it is so cheap, it's like, why not have it on multiple platforms?
For sure. It is cheap and it's lucrative.
Yeah. And that's that also helped the people that bitch about the money going up on the cost of games, even though it's such an arbitrary. It's like one of those things. The cost of games is such an arbitrary number that was thrown on in general. But now with the games, like, it was $50 for so long, but now games are just AAA titles specifically are just so big that the cost is definitely much higher than it used to be. So it's like, I can see them moving this arbitrary number up to help with the cost of making games,
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. I realize that a lot of people still bitch about how much it costs. But anyway, I think that's a good episode. What do you think?
I'd say that's a pretty good episode.
Even with our little bit of improv that we had to do, because we blew through the first 2 stories so quick.
Yeah, that's no big deal, though. You got long ones, got short ones, you got creative ones, you got uncreative ones, you got everywhere in between. Sometimes you got to make do with what you got.
Yeah. If you liked, or even if you didn't like this podcast, make sure to do all of the things, like hitting the like button and the bell and hitting the subscribe button. So I guess hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell, because you can't hit the bell till after you hit subscribe, on youtube.com/theexitplays, or giving it a high rating on whatever podcast service you use so you can find like-minded people. I brought it up before, but on patreon.com/thebriefingroom, you can financially support the show and get cool rewards as well. I have the first 4 episodes of the editorials in the back pages uploaded. For whatever reason, the back pages are not uploading right now. I need to figure that out for the 5th episode. I need to figure that out. But we have content there now. We have content.
The content is there.
And this doesn't really... I don't know what my viewership is on the Briefing Room channel compared to this podcast. But on my Briefing Room channel, I did reactions to Genlock, and then Warner Brothers got all crazy. And so I'm probably going to move those reactions to Patreon, just so that they're still there, but I don't have to worry about DMCA. Anyway, that's all from us. Take care.
Take care. Yeah, my bad.
You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
I say that too. I want you all to have a great time and enjoy the rest of your days.